when you think about it, there's only a few superhero movies that really chart on people's top 10 usually.
That's
Like
true.
Puma Man.
Like no one. Have you ever met someone who said like Daredevil? Yeah, that was awesome. Like that's a sentence no one's
Never
ever
as
uttered.
a top 3, no.
No,
By the way, if you ever meet somebody who says Daredevil is like his favorite movie of all time, unless it's like even Daredevil, I'm not a big Daredevil fan. Like he's a decent superhero, but even like hardcore Daredevil fans were like, no, that movie was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
But what I always hear about the Daredevil movie is watch the director's cut.
Yeah, I've
Like,
never seen the director's cut. I just I
It
remember
is a lot better.
I remember watching the like theatrical. Like I rented it, and right before the movie, they had "Bring Me to Life" by Evanescence. They had that music video. I'm like, that's an awesome song. That was really the only thing I remembered from that.
Yes.
Except he punches the black Kingpin, because Kingpin is black now, in the knees and broke both his kneecaps. And who I believe was played by James Earl Jones. Hang on, let me check that out. But yeah, Daredevil, not a very good movie. Elektra, God
you
help
gotta be
me.
kidding, yeah. And almost no one-
Fantastic Four, God help us.
Terrible, terrible.
So bad.
And like few people will say some of the even the more successful franchises, like almost no one says Iron Man 2 is their top favorite superhero movie, right?
And coming from like the biggest Iron Man fan that I even know, which is myself, yeah, that movie was awful. But again, like I didn't like it because it's not what I wanted and it wasn't what I expected, and it made no sense from canon. However,
Right.
I think everybody else should enjoy it because it was an okay film.
Oh,
I thought it, I don't know, I thought it had all the makings of a potentially good film, like Sam Rockwell, but
And his orange hands.
he's superb. He's superb in everything. One of the better character actors of our generation, I think. But
by the way, it was Michael Clark Duncan, quite possibly the largest man who's ever lived, who played Kingpin in Daredevil. He was that big guy in Green Mile. If you don't know who he is, he's cool. I like him.
Yeah, he's
awesome.
great.
yeah, he's really good. So dealing with the Batman franchise, a favorite Batman movie, Penny, including like all the old ones and all the Batman movies. Basically.
Animated as well.
Yeah, sure, animated. Yeah.
And mine's definitely Batman Begins. Like, again, I'm not a huge DC fan or really fan of Batman at all. So
Get out. You're no longer on the show.
I can't help it. I came from Marvel representation.
Fair enough.
But yeah, like I think the first Batman movie I'd seen in its entirety, because I'd seen the older ones like bits and pieces, was Batman Begins, and I found it to be, again with Man of Steel, a great introduction to the character.
Yeah.
And I sympathized with him because I never really liked Bruce Wayne before. Like I felt he was, because I judge my superheroes on the alter egos always.
Right.
And I think that's an odd standpoint from someone.
That's a Marvel symptom.
There we go. There it is.
The
No, I never identified with Bruce Wayne. I never cared about him. It was, it was whatever. But I felt Christian Bale did actually bring something to that role as well as to Batman, and I appreciated that.
he's surprisingly good.
He is fantastic.
He too often he gets grouped into his age mates as an actor, but he's really quite a bit better, and he has a real methodology to his acting. Like I don't know if you saw The Machinist,
I did see it. That was brilliant.
which was it was unbelievable. I couldn't imagine someone doing that much physically.
No, it was incredible
To get
how
a
much
role.
weight that man lost and how emaciated he really looked. Like it was,
Exactly, yeah.
and all the while still being an incredible actor at the same time. It was.
And then he had to gain it all back for Batman, where he had to gain extra weight because he had to be sort of more muscular.
I don't know how he did it, honestly.
It's very impressive. Certainly a lot of dedication to his roles. He's always been full on in his acting ever since American Psycho, I think.
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah, American Psycho really made him.
It was that real dedication to the role I've never seen before. And I was impressed with his Bruce Wayne, even though I didn't think that I would sympathize with sort of such a tough guy.
Okay, yeah.
But after seeing it, I was like, wow, he did a good job. Also, Katie Holmes as Rachel Dawes.
Oh, she's much better than Maggie Gyllenhaal.
It's much better. And I actually don't think she's a better actress, is the interesting part. I think Maggie Gyllenhaal, on average, is a better actress, but this was not the role for her.
No, it's severely miscast, I believe.
One of the bigger mistakes made in The Dark Knight,
I agree.
to my mind.
Yes, I agree.
On top of the under-editing.
Yes, there we go. There it is. Scarecrow, you need to leave Dark Knight, please.
You need to be in one movie. Although, I will say, I did... I don't usually appreciate this kind of thing, but I appreciated him in Dark Knight Rises.
I was just about to say that. I did appreciate him in Dark Knight Rises because that makes sense. The villains were overtaking Gotham. He then was the judge. I thought that made sense for him to come up, but I think his cameo in that film was diminished, and his appearance in Batman Begins was diminished because he did show up in The Dark Knight. It was overexposure.
Yeah, I agree. That's absolutely it.
I thought it was perfect in The Dark Knight because I'm Wolverine.
Wow, for the listeners, that made no... Well, okay, for the people in the studio, it didn't really make any sense either, so continue on.
Because of, it shows that there was a much larger crime problem in Gotham than the Scarecrow was one of the main villains of the first Batman movie, but Batman villains always come back, as do most super villains, but that's one of the main things I hate about most superhero movies is the fact that all of their villains die at the end of the movie. So, for example, in Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi one, Dr. Octopus died, and I'm like, well, I want to see him come back at some point. Now, he never was, because they only made 3 movies, but at some point it would have been cool. Maybe they could have had a Sinister Six movie or something like that.
And we couldn't have had him in that 3rd movie with all those other guys.
No, but I'm just saying at some point they could have brought him back for something, or you know what? But like they always end up killing a lot of their villains. So I liked how he came back and kind of said, I was like, okay, he's still continuing on as a villain. It shows that there is, despite what happened in the first Batman movie, there is still a really terrible crime problem in this city. I felt that, like, it was perfect that they showed, okay, we've already established that this guy's somewhat of a supervillain, and it shows that supervillains are still on the go and Batman's still fighting them. Isn't like crime isn't winding down, in fact, it's speeding up, and it kind of paved the way for the psychopath that was Joker and eventually Two-Face.
That's a fair point, but I do want to play devil advocate here for a second, if you'll let me. Batman doesn't kill anybody, right? No. He's against killing. So
except for Ra's al Ghul.
Well, yes, but that was his main standpoint. I don't kill people. It always has been. So where he doesn't kill them, they can come back unless they are imprisoned, and everybody knows that Gotham's prisons are corrupt. And blah,
it's
blah,
a revolving. Arkham Asylum has a revolving door policy.
Exactly, right? There you go. So what I'm saying is, do you think that it's more of a statement in superhero movies that the villains are completely finished? Whether or not they're killed or not, they're finished. But in Batman, they aren't. Do you think that weakens Batman as a character and as a hero because he lets them go and lets them back to, wreak havoc for another day?
No, I don't think so, because in all the other superhero movies, the villains die. A lot of times they die is not the superhero. Like, the superheroes... like, for example, take Whiplash or Obadiah Stane in Iron Man.
Yep.
He died not because Tony Stark killed him. He was just caught in that EMP blast.
That's true. And they usually do destroy themselves, but the hero gets the credit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the only villain I've ever seen, like, I can remember that a superhero has killed is, well, I can't say because of spoilers, but go watch Man of Steel. You know what I mean. But I was jaw dropped. I thought that was big. I don't know. I want to talk about it so bad because there are so many plot points wrong with that scene because he's holding him and he's like, and he can't seem to get him away. But really, all he could do is like step to the left or just like move like. He didn't have to kill him. He did not have to kill him. Anyway.
I'm glad he killed him, though.
I think he did have to kill him. I think that was the exact point of the scene. I think that was the whole point of the movie. He had to kill him. Whether it was in that particular position or scene, I'll argue that with you.
No, I think he had to kill him. I just think they could have figured out a better way to make it, like, because they were like, okay, he'd have to kill... They killed General Zod. I'm putting that out there.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Stop hitting the table.
The movie's been out for 2 weeks now, I think.
It's been out for a while, yeah.
Yeah, so, anyway... so he kills General Zod, but like you kind of get from the beginning that General Zod's probably gonna die. Just because, and like throughout the movie they were like, okay, it's either gonna be Superman or General Zod, so General Zod's gonna die. But I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying they could have killed him in a better way. Like he could have. I honestly thought what it could have been was instead of Superman killing him, he could have died. Like he's like, I will save Krypton, and so he does something like his own hubris or his own like want to like. He's trying to terraform the planet, and he gets caught in like the terraforming beam, and he gets like completely destroyed, or something like that, or something along those lines could have happened to him, where where Superman beat him, but it was his own, but it was the villain's fault. Now I don't mind that. I'm just saying like it would be cool like to have him maybe as a recurring character. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm coming at it from the point of a comics where you need where.
Well, I definitely needed him to kill General Zod personally because I needed. What Superman desperately needs, given the type of hero he is, given the sort of image he projects, a sort of perfect man kind of thing,
yep.
I think he needs humanity. And exactly. I think that kind of like sort of almost primal emotion of needing to kill this guy is what gave him the humanity for me. And on the Batman issue,
I wouldn't even say it was primal need. I think it was with great reluctance that he killed the guy.
He did, but it was the choice,
killing
right?
The primal sort of more animalistic, less sort of
he's much more down. He's much more human.